Coach's fall 2025 collection is super hot right now because it just dropped. But there's another collection from Coach that, despite it being almost 20 years old, is even hotter, and that is Coach's 65th anniversary legacy collection. There's a lot of confusion about which bags are actually part of this collection, since there's a lot of overlap in design elements between these bags and other bags from Coach. So in this video, I will explain which is which, since none of them are marked 65th anniversary. I'll show you about a dozen bags from this collection and a few SLGs. I'll also share the original retail prices for most of these, and we'll talk about what you should expect to pay on the pre-loved market if you decide you want to look for one of these bags. They have become very, very popular recently, and of course, due to that, the prices have gone up. Plus, make sure you stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to share some information and some tips that you'd want to know about what to look for in these bags and what to avoid. So stay tuned. And welcome, I'm Autumn Beckman, and I'm here to help you live your most luxurious life within your budget. I post new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of those, and so you don't miss my daily community posts, where I share the best sales of the day and fabulous handbags that I find. Also, don't miss my website, autumnbeckman.com/shop. That's where you can find handbags and accessories I have for sale, as well as the My Handbag Collection Organizer. These are planner pages that I've designed to help you organize and curate your handbags and your life. The heart of which is the item tracker page. This is where you can record everything you'd want to know about your handbags and small goods. I also have wish list trackers, purchase trackers, shipment trackers, lots of trackers, and pages that help you track in various ways how and how often you're using your items, plus calendar pages in a variety of formats so you can find what works best for you, and so much more. Now, I've had a lot of new people on the channel lately, and I realized in one of my recent Coach videos that a lot of you don't know that I do a Coach video every Thursday, sometimes more often than that. And on the second Thursday of each month, at least right now and for the next few months, I've been doing a series of videos on the Coach runway shows in chronological order starting from 2014. Currently, we are up to the year of 2016, which is Coach's 75th anniversary. And this video marks the beginning of a new series, which will be much shorter than that one, going through the anniversary collections. Based on the research I've done, it looks like the 65th anniversary in 2006 was the first time that Coach did much of anything to celebrate an anniversary. But since then, they've celebrated every 5 years with a special collection of handbags, as well as sometimes many other things, as in the case of the 75th anniversary, which we will get to soon. So after this video, look forward to videos coming on the 70th, the 75th, and the 80th anniversaries, and then next year is the 85th anniversary. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do for that. Reed Krakoff was the creative director for the 65th anniversary in 2006, but not every bag released that year was part of the anniversary collection. So keep in mind, Coach still has other collections that they've released prior to that year that they're continuing with, and they're releasing other collections they'd already planned to release that had nothing to do with the anniversary. This particular anniversary started the Legacy collection, and I would also note that not everything in the Legacy collection is part of the 65th anniversary collection. In fact, in my next video on Saturday, I'm going to show you all the bags that I have in my personal collection that are part of this particular Legacy collection, and I'll give you more information about the Legacy collection. It gets confusing because Coach uses the word legacy to refer to lots of different things over many different years. So in this video, we are talking specifically about the 65th anniversary Legacy collection. These are Legacy bags made in the year 2006. And one of the ways that I have been able to differentiate these bags from others that look very similar is by using the Coach catalogs that someone before me very generously has scanned into PDF format. I will have a link in the description box below where you can access all the catalogs that have been scanned. It's not every Coach catalog ever, but it's a lot of them. And among those, there are 2 catalogs from 2006. I think there are 5 2006 catalogs in total, but 2 of those say on the front cover, 65th anniversary. Now, even then, not everything in those 2 catalogs are part of the Anniversary Legacy collection, but I will share what is. That's what this video is about. let's get to it. All right, some hallmarks of this collection to be looking at when I show you these bags. One of the new things that you see in several of these bags is vachetta leather. Now, this isn't the pale vachetta that we're used to seeing with Louis Vuitton. These have been vegetable tanned, so they're going to be a little darker, but they are vachetta, so they don't have coatings on them. They are susceptible to stains and dirt and all kinds of things. But really beautiful leather, mostly released in a color called whiskey, which is a brown, a black, and a white. But there are a few other colors for some of the bags. They also released bags in a more regular leather, in suede, and in their signature canvas. That's the one with all the C's on it. The hardware on these bags is solid brass, and a lot of it is chunky and some of it's oversized. You'll notice that there are oversized turn locks on all or most of these bags. The hang tag, which almost every Coach bag has throughout the history of Coach, on these bags also has a little brass coin charm which says Coach established 1941 around it. And one of the big clues that a bag is part of the legacy collection from this period, and this is not specific to the 65th anniversary collection, is when you look at the interiors, you're going to see a legacy stripe lining, a particular one, because they've done multiple legacy stripe linings. Now, I have seen that done, this particular one, from 2006 to 2008, but I've also seen a bag in 2012 with the same lining. I'll show you bags from each of those years in my next video. Now let's look at the 65th anniversary legacy handbags. There are about a dozen of them. And of course, everything I can find that I'm about to show you will be linked in the description box below. I think almost all of these bags are still fairly easy to find. So lots of links. We'll start with the Ali bag, and that's spelled A-L-I. It's officially called the Ali shoulder flap. When this was released in the vachetta leather, it retailed for $498. That came in whiskey, black, and white. There was also a suede version with leather trim that retailed for the same price. That came in charcoal or plum. And there was a version released in alligator. That was a limited edition, and it was $10,000. Remember, that's in 2006. Almost 20 years ago. And of the bags that I'm showing you today, I have 4 of them. So I'm going to show you those when I get to them throughout the video. The Ali is one of them. I have it in the vachetta leather in the color whiskey, and I have it in black. So let me show you this one so you can see some of the details on this bag before we look at the rest. So here's the front. You'll notice it has the Coach cartouche debossed into the leather, and it says established 1941. Has this big oversized turn lock, and then here on the side, so mine is a little smushed from how I've stored it. Here is the Coach hang tag, and then attached to that is the little coin that says Coach established 1941. It says that twice around the outer edge. On the back, it has the Coach cartouche. So there's the side, the back, there's no pocket. The other side, you have that extra D-ring right there. I'm not really sure, you have it on both sides. Not sure what that's for other than that you could attach a longer strap, because this strap is not completely detachable, but it did not come with a larger strap. There's the bottom of the bag, and then when you open the turn lock, you see that gorgeous satin lining with the legacy stripe interior. There's a big front pocket here, which is the leather on that side, and you see that white stuff. I'm going to talk about that toward the end of the video. And it has the stripes on the interior. And then the big compartment inside, it has 2 pockets. It's the dust bag at the bottom, a zipped pocket on the back wall, and the creed. Moving on, there's another bag that looks very similar to the Ali, but it's called the Legacy Slim Flap. Here's one in suede with fringe in the color dark brown, and this retailed for $448. And notice that's about $50 less than the Ali bag, but then there's also this version, the zebra version. Coach was doing several things with zebra prints at this time, but this one is dyed hair calf, which is calf hair, and this one retailed for $798. There's also this legacy leather satchel. Based on what I've seen with prices for this collection, this appears to be one of the more popular items because the prices are higher on these. It originally came in whiskey, black, and white. As you can see, it has two top handles, this strap across the center with an oversized snap hook, the two front pockets that have the flaps, and notice on the buckles you have two rows of 2 grommets. This bag has a zipped top and it has turn lock pockets on the ends too. This leather version retailed for $698, but there was also an ostrich version. I did not see a price for that though. Another very popular bag from this collection is the Mandy, officially the Mandy Courier. The leather version retailed for $798. It came in white, black, whiskey, and it's basically the same as the Legacy leather satchel, except it has one shoulder strap instead of 2 top handles, and it has a top zipper, whereas the satchel has like flaps with a zipper. There's also a version of the Mandy in signature canvas that retailed for $748. That came in black or a khaki and ebony combination. And there's the Legacy shoulder bag. This came in white or black, or rose, which is a pink, or whiskey. It also has a top zipper and 2 front turn lock pockets this time instead of buckles. This bag retailed for $398. There's a suede version for the same price in charcoal or plum, and the signature canvas version for the same price in a khaki and gold combination, or khaki and black, or all black. There's also this Legacy signature top handle pouch. This one's in signature canvas. It retailed for $158. It came in black or khaki and ebony. It has a zip top and 1 turn lock flap pocket on the front. And then there were 2 really small bags. This is the Legacy flap. You can see it has a shoulder strap and a triangular front pocket with a turn lock. The leather version came in black, white, whiskey, or rose, and it retailed for $278. There was also a signature canvas version for $258 in khaki and ebony or in black. And there's the Zoe clutch. Now at first glance, those 2 bags, the 2 small ones, look very similar, but here's how to tell the difference. This bag, instead of a shoulder strap, has a little removable wristlet strap, and instead of a triangular front flap, it has a rectangular front flap. The leather version retailed for $258. There's also an ostrich one, which was limited edition. That was $2,000. And a satin version in the Legacy stripes for $258. A few more pieces that were the satin stripes on the outside of the bag were the Katie travel tote. This retailed for $398. And this top handle pouch. This retailed for $158. It has a zipper on top and turn lock pockets on either end. Now when I was researching for this video, I found another version of this bag that looks very similar, so I wanted to make you aware so you don't get them confused. The one we're talking about here that was part of the 65th anniversary collection has gold leather trim. There's another version that's in an uncoated canvas, not satin. It has leather trim that looks like vachetta, and on the back pocket it has a little key as the zipper pull. Now I found all of those items in one of the Coach catalogs from the anniversary collection. When I looked at the second, I saw some of those bags in there, but I also found a couple of things that weren't in the other catalog. Like this bag, the Legacy leather hippie. This came in white or in black or in whiskey. Looks very much like the Alley bag, except it has a crossbody strap. And it retailed for $398. That bag is very difficult to find on the Preloved market. However, I have it in whiskey and in black. So I'll bring it closer and give you a quick look. Here's the front of the bag. And actually, let me compare this to the Alley. I'll have to stand back here to do that. So you can see from the front, they look like they're about the same size, and they both look very, very similar from the front. They have that flap with a big oversized turn lock. But when you look at where the strap attaches to the bag, on the Alley, the top of the bag is just straight across. But on the hippie, it curves up to attach to these O-rings. Also, when you turn the bags to the side, you can see the Alley has quite a bit of depth, maybe 4 inches or so, but the hippie bag is much more slender. So there is the front of the hippie. There's a closer look at how it attaches to the strap. It is adjustable a little bit here on the side. Now I have it squished, but it's still quite thin. No back pocket. There's the bottom, no feet on any of these. And when we go inside, we see the stripes again. We have a front pocket just like on the Alley. And in fact, the interior of the bag is the same layout with the 2 pockets on front, the zip on the back. It just doesn't have the depth that the Alley has. Now, in addition to the handbags, there were also a lot of small goods released as part of this collection. For example, this large beauty case, which retailed for $98. But a lot of these small goods really incorporated those legacy stripes. My favorite piece, and I've been looking for this, and if you see one ever, please let me know because I'm very interested in acquiring this piece. The Agenda. This retailed for $218, which is quite a lot. There were also wallets like this one. I'm going to bring this closer, but this is from 2007, I believe, based on the color and material it's made of. But otherwise, it's exactly the same. So I want to show you this up close. It's such a pretty design. It has that turn lock on the front with the flap, just like the Alley. And then when you open that up, it opens into a bifold. This one has the pink leather, the card slots, and a cash slot. Oh, and inside there, and actually it has 2 cash slots. Inside there is the legacy stripes. And then on the back, there's a pocket. It's super tight though. I don't know that you could really put anything in there, but it does have the legacy stripes. And then it has this kiss lock, little coin purse with the legacy stripes. There were also quite a few scarves released. And these are all 100% silk. This one is in the original 65th anniversary collection. So it has the legacy stripes on one side, and then the brown signature C's on the other. And there are square scarves and long rectangular scarves. Here is one of the square scarves. That was part of this collection. And there's this one. I'm not sure if this was released in 2006 or later, but I wanted to show it to you as part of this. There was even a little dog coat in the legacy stripes. And for those who don't know, I wanted to quickly show you this, which speaks to the origins of Coach's legacy stripes. This is one of my earliest Coach bags. This is from the 1960s. It's one of Bonnie Cashin's original designs for Coach. And when I bring it closer, you'll see that the interior of the bag has these beautiful, colorful stripes. So that's where the legacy stripes originated from. And it's my understanding that Bonnie Cashin's inspiration for these was from Mexican textiles. So these are sometimes called Mexican stripes on the earlier bags. So you see it there, and you also see it on the interior of the kiss lock. And that's why you see the legacy stripes in the 65th anniversary collection, because they are an homage to Coach history. Now, if you are looking to pick up one of these bags from the Preloved market, here are some things you may want to know. What should you expect to pay for these bags? These days are now gonna start around the $200 or $300 mark. And depending on which bag it is, how rare it is, the condition, the color, how desirable it is, some of these are going to go near $1,000. I've even seen some priced more than that. I wouldn't pay more than $1,000. But some of the higher prices I've seen repeatedly have been in the 800s. Depending on the bag, expect to pay probably somewhere in the $300 range. How do you know if it's from the 65th anniversary legacy collection in particular? Well, you'd watch the video that you just watched to get some clues about that. Pick one of the bags from this video. Those are definitely part of this collection. But beyond that, because I don't know if there were more bags that were in this collection that I didn't show you today because they weren't in those catalogs, look at the registration numbers. Let me show you an example. Look for a listing that has a photo of the creed inside the bag. If the listing doesn't have it, reach out to the seller and see if they will post one for you. Then look at the registration number. You're going to see NO, that's for number, and you'll see a letter, that stands for the month that the bag was made, and then the next 2 numbers will tell you the year it was made. You're looking for 06, because 2006 was the anniversary year. Now again, not every bag made in 2006 was an anniversary bag or a legacy bag, but if you find a combination of the year 2006 and the legacy stripe interior, you're probably good. Another thing to be aware of is that at this time in Coach history, Coach had the outlets, and they would often release bags at the outlet that look exactly like the boutique bags, but maybe they were slightly different, so maybe not exactly like. They might have been a different color or a different material or a different size. So what you want to do there, I'll show you another example of this, is again, look at the registration number, and you see how there's a dash between those 2 sets of numbers. That second set is your style number. If there's an F in front of that number, so if there's an F right after the dash, that means that that bag was made for factory, so made for the outlets. As far as I have seen, the outlet bags did not have the legacy stripe interior, but they still had bags that on the outside looked the same, but maybe they were a different color. Also be aware that you may find bags that look exactly like this, but the interior doesn't have the stripes. So that might mean it's an outlet bag. It also might mean it's from a later year where they were still making the bag, but it wasn't part of the official legacy collection anymore. Another thing to keep in mind, since these are full leather bags, they are a nice thick leather, and they have that solid brass chunky hardware. The bags have some weight to them. If it's a shoulder bag like the Alley, probably not a big deal, but if it's a satchel, those are going to be really heavy. Remember to look for the hang tag and the little coin if you care about that. And then I mentioned when I showed you the Alley earlier that white stuff inside the pocket, so let's talk about that for a second and a couple of other condition issues to be aware of. So my Alley bag has that white stuff all over the interior of the pocket there. It also has it on the outside and some other places, but this is where it's most obvious. You're gonna see this on a lot of these bags. Don't worry about it. It's not something to be concerned about because it is a perfectly natural, normal thing that happens with this leather, and it's easy to fix. What it is like oils and fats in the leather that seep to the surface over time. All you have to do is use a blow dryer on it and then buff it out with a soft cloth, and it goes right back into the leather. Should take quite a while for it to start coming back up again if it ever does. And it's fixed, problem solved, easy peasy. So if you see that, don't let it deter you from getting a bag. Another thing you might notice, can you see that green stuff around the edge of the brass turnlock there? That's called verdigris. It's just some buildup from the brass, and that's easy to get rid of too. You can use Brasso on the brass. Once it does get on the leather, it's gonna darken it a little bit, but you could use Q-tips. If you're really careful, you could use toothpicks, and that comes right off. Very easy. And then another thing to be aware of on these bags, you see how it's dirty along here? Very normal for these. This striped satin stains very easily from these bags because the leather has some color transfer. So those are things to be aware of with these bags that are very common, but I don't think should deter you from getting a bag. Now, how dirty that satin is, that's going to depend on you, what you want. You may be able to find a super clean one, but you might need to be prepared to pay up for that. Let me know if you have any bags from the 65th anniversary legacy collection. If so, what do you have? Is it something you still carry? Are there any bags that you want from this collection? Let us know in the comments section below. And while you're down there, please check out my website, autumnbeckman.com/shop, and the links that I have for these bags on the Preloved market. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.